Hi there, it's Richard here. I don't know about you, but when it gets to this time of year and the nights are drawing in, it's getting colder and darker and closer to Halloween, my thoughts start turning to scary stories and ghost stories and all of that. Now, I'm not particularly a great believer in the supernatural, but sometimes, and I don't know whether you agree with me on this or not, or think I'm completely doolally, but sometimes you have a coincidence or something happen that's so specific and so spot on that you begin to question your skepticism. And this happened to me yesterday, and I just wanted to share this story with you. Well, it's not a story, it's a factual account of something that happened yesterday evening. So let me share it with you and see what you think. See whether you think it's strange phenomena or just a spooky coincidence. So I was sat in the dining room at the table doing some editing, as I usually do, and it was probably about 6 o'clock, so it's starting to get a little dark, and I suddenly noticed a squirrel run across the patio, as they normally do. There's nothing out of the ordinary about that. But for some reason, this set off a cascade of thoughts to me. And this cascade of thoughts was, what would I do if there was a squirrel in the house? Now, I don't tend to leave doors and windows open unnecessarily, probably for that reason. I don't really want a fox to come in the house, or indeed a squirrel. But this cascade of thoughts continued for a few moments, and I imagined this squirrel in the house and what I would do to get it out, to coax it out. And I was thinking, would I use some nuts, probably, and try and, sort of coax it through the back door to get it out, So, this didn't occupy my thoughts for too long. It was probably a couple of minutes, and I continued doing what I was doing. Paul came down from upstairs and said, I'm going to go over the road and feed our neighbour's cat. Literally, down the road a little bit, that's where her house is. So he did that, and sure enough, 5 minutes later he was back, and I heard him sigh in a certain way, and I thought, oh, he's a little bit stressed about something. So I said to him, everything okay? And he came through and said to me, well, no, there was a squirrel in her house. And I said, what? I said, stop right there. I've just got to tell you what's just happened in my head. So I told him what I've just told you. I had this thought process go through my head, and it had just happened at our friend's house. And it kind of made me sort of shiver, because it was so specific, and he had to go through the process of coaxing it out of the back door, all of that. And I thought it was completely and utterly bizarre. I couldn't quite believe it for a few moments, and then of course I sort of accepted it as, coincidence, strange. But I wanted to share it with you because this happens from time to time. And I often think, was that a premonition? If I'd have said it beforehand, would it still have happened? So have you ever had anything like that happen? It's happened to me a few times over the years. if you have, share it with me, let me know, because I find it terribly interesting that these coincidences happen to us, and very often wonder whether we do have premonitions or psychic connections to people, places, events. So there we go. That's just a little sharing with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it made you shiver slightly. It's not too spooky or scary, but interesting. So, bye for now. See you all soon.